Hi guys, I'm Jordan, the director at Camp Jackson, and today we're gonna pack for summer camp. So I'm gonna go through this as I would be packing for my actual child. He's 4 right now, so a little too young for camp, but when he's 7, he will be doing mini camp for 4 days. So that's what I packed for, but I will give you tips along the way for base camp, adventure camp, horse masters, and our teen programs as well. We're gonna start off with what kind of bag you should use when you're packing. I would recommend one of 2 things. A duffel bag about this size will be great for pretty much any trip, maybe except for our CITs who stay for 3 weeks. Maybe they take 2 of these. This one's kind of cool because it has different compartments, but you could just do a 1-zip duffel bag. That would work perfectly. The other option is to do a rolly case. Now, this will not roll well at camp. However, if you bring a small one like this, and you or your camper can actually carry it, or one of our lovely staff could carry it for you, you can carry this up to their cabin from the car just fine. So if this is what you have, go ahead and bring this. One tip overall is that we don't want you to feel like you have to spend a bunch of money or go buy a bunch of new stuff to come to camp. Camp is dirty, it's messy, it's rough. Things could get ruined and torn and messy very easily. So I would use older items, well-loved items, and we strongly recommend buying used from Once Upon a Child or secondhand stores, and also borrowing from friends if they have some things that you might be able to use for your camper's short amount of time with us. So in addition to the actual bag you'll use to pack their things, you're gonna wanna send them with a backpack. So I have 2 examples here. In both cases, what we're looking for is a wide strap, ideally with some padding. Okay, what we don't want is those little cloth fabric drawstring bags that tighten and it's like a cord that would go here. Those are gonna dig into their shoulders and be very uncomfortable when they do their overnights, which is what these bags are for. So on Wednesdays, they're gonna pack up some things and go on a hike and camp out under the stars. And for that, they need a good backpack. So either something like either of these would work really well. These canvas ones, I know you can get like a canvas backpack like this. You could even honestly send their school bag. So for our older teens or adventure campers, I would highly recommend a backpacking backpack that has waist straps. So the reason we want them to have something like this is because they're gonna do some more intense hikes, right? So we've got kids that will go on 4-hour hikes out to the peak of a mountain, right? We want them to have hip straps. That's gonna allow them to bear the weight on their hips rather than their shoulders or their back, and it's gonna help them be much more comfortable on their trip. Now, if you don't have something like this, we have them at camp. Do not go buy a new one unless your child will be backpacking a lot and a lot and a lot for many years. Otherwise, borrow one from a friend, buy one used, or have them borrow one from camp, okay? Now, let's jump into some other items I would recommend for every single camper. I'm gonna start with shoes. So, for every single camper, I would recommend at least these. So, a pair of sandals with a heel strap. Do not send them in flip-flops. They cannot wear them at camp unless they're going to shower in them. If it was me, I would send just these, and my kid would shower in these because they dry quickly, and that way it's only one thing they have to keep track of instead of 2. So, sandals with a heel strap are great for playing and hiking around camp. Those, again, we got used at Once Upon a Child. These were given to us by a cousin, so do not feel like you have to buy new stuff. Tennis shoes, good, classic, easy tennis shoes. For younger kids, tennis shoes that they can easily put on themselves, right? Now, for teens or adventure campers, you're gonna wanna do boots. So something like this, something like a hiking boot that has some ankle support and some good tread will be good for them who are doing kind of those longer overnight trips or hikes. So again, adventure camps or teen campers. For horseback riding, if you have boots that have a little bit of a heel, that's ideal. Again, you do not have to go buy new things, but if you have a boot or a shoe that has a little bit of a thicker heel, that can be good for them, okay? So that's what I'd recommend for shoes. Now, for jackets, this will also be universal for all campers. We want to have a raincoat, okay? Or a reusable poncho from like Walmart or the dollar store, that's fine too. Something to keep them dry. And then we want 3 layers, okay? We want either a pullover sweatshirt hoodie or a zip-up sweatshirt material. Okay, this is a first layer. It's a lightweight jacket. Second, we want a little bit heavier, so fleecy or fuzzy, a little thicker. This is our medium weight jacket. And third, a little bit even thicker, and that is something that has like maybe some insulation. It's a puffy on the outside, fuzzy on the inside. Again, we got this at Once Upon a Child, but Goodwill. There's so many jackets out there. You can easily find stuff. If you need, they don't need like a full-on winter jacket, but something thicker for nighttime is a good idea. Okay, so jackets. Next, universal for all kids will be bedding. So we're looking at having a fitted sheet for their bunk. It needs to be a twin size fitted sheet. And then I would do like a fuzzy blanket or a blanket that they love. Okay, this is Bluey, obviously, for my 4-year-old, and then a sleeping bag. So they're gonna sleep on their bunk with a fitted sheet, a fuzzy blanket, and a sleeping bag, okay? They can also bring and should bring a pillow and a pillowcase. And then if they want to bring a stuffy or a lovey, that can be a nice way for them to like just be more comfortable while they're away from home. So a stuffy, especially if you have younger kids, that can be helpful. So bedding is gonna be universal for all campers. Now hats will be the same. I would send a beanie for nighttime, and I would send a baseball cap or a sun hat for daytime, especially if you have an adventure camper who's going rafting. Strongly recommend some sort of sun hat. Even a bucket hat would be good, but they're gonna need some coverage while they're rafting, okay? Socks are also very important. In general, as we move into everyday clothing items, I would pack 1 item per day plus 2 extras. So if your camper's staying for 4 days, we're gonna do 4 pairs of pants or shorts, 4 shirts, 4 socks, 4 undies, plus 2, okay? So I've got my socks here. Regular, longer socks I feel are good for camp to protect their ankles from the brush and different things that they might be running through. And then if you have smart wool or wool socks, thicker socks, these are highly recommended, especially again for our older campers who are gonna go on some of those longer hikes. Highly recommend. But again with socks, at least 1 pair per day plus 2 extras. Same thing for underwear. Okay, so for regular clothing items, I would do long sleeve pajamas just as a rule. It can get a little bit chilly. We do have heating in the cabins, but I think in general, long sleeve pajamas are gonna be the go-to, and pants. So I'm gonna do 3 pairs for my child who's little, right? If he's 7 and he's going to camp for 3 nights, I'm just gonna bring him 1 pair per night because he may have an accident or something like that. Totally normal, totally fine. I want him to have changes of clothes, okay? If you have older campers, I would recommend 1 pair of pajamas per every 2 nights. So if my camper's going for 5 nights, I still might give them 3, right? I want them to have enough for in case something happens or a pair gets dirty, whatever it is. But I wouldn't pack, for me, I wouldn't pack 1 pair per every night, especially if you have like a CIT who's there for 3 weeks. We do have laundry on camp, so we can help them do that on the weekends. You really just need to pack what's enough for the 1 week of their stay. If any campers are staying over for multiple weeks, we will do their laundry on the weekends. So for my kiddo, I would do 2 pairs of shorts, and I would do 4 pairs of pants, okay? That's 6 total bottoms for 4 days. That gives them 1 per day, right? Plus 2 extras. Now, a pair of jeans, highly recommended. Older jeans are great for hiking, running through the forest, things like that. My guy's really active. Sweatpants are what he's most comfortable in. I'm just gonna do some older pairs of sweatpants. I would in general recommend pants during the day overall. It's cool enough that if they wear short sleeves and jeans or pants, they're gonna feel good temperature-wise, and their legs are gonna be protected on the trails and things like that. So we got a lot of gravel, we got a lot of brush. Nice to have the legs protected. And then I'm gonna do 4 t-shirts and 2 long sleeve shirts, okay? So that's what I would recommend for clothing. And now we're gonna move on to kind of personal items. So every kid will need a towel. Again, I would use like one of our beach towels, one of our older towels, one that I don't care if it gets lost. Again, camp does have extras, so if something happens, we can provide them with a towel. Same with sheets and sleeping bags. And then I would do a washcloth or a loofah, depending on my kiddo, right? You're gonna want to make sure you send them with a water bottle. I would recommend something that's not breakable. Metal is good. If they drop it, it's not gonna break. Something that will close, so it's not gonna leak all over their beds. And then I would write their name on it. So I just put a piece of Scotch tape, wrote their name on it so they don't lose it. Something with a handle is good too, because then they can carry it around with them. If they're little, those water bottles with a strap, right? That's what I brought to camp as a kid. I thought it was really dorky, but it actually worked out really well because I never lost my water bottle. And then in terms of personal items, obviously toothbrush and toothpaste, obviously some soap, shampoo, or conditioner. For me, I have a 7-year-old boy. I'm just gonna give him a bar of soap that he can use on his body and his hair, call it a day, right? I would probably send a Ziploc bag so that when the soap is wet, he can put it in the Ziploc bag and it's staying clean and not messy. Okay, chapstick I would highly recommend. Some lotion is not necessary, but can be nice. It can get dry. This I would recommend more for older campers. As we get up in age, everyone will need to bring sunscreen and bug spray. So we've got a big sunscreen and a big bug spray. Those are good to have. And then for older kids, obviously we would have deodorant. If they want to bring a comb or a brush, of course, obviously older girls, hair stuff, whatever, all the accessories, that's fine. I would again talk with them about things at camp being easily lost or easily damaged. So don't bring something you love, but bring what you need to feel comfortable, okay? So those would be my must-haves for personal items. And then of course, medication. So in here, I've got a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. I've labeled it with his first and last name. In here, I've got some black elderberry syrup. I've got his vitamins. He gets really dry noses and is prone to bloody nose. So he's got some nasal spray here, and then a Benadryl anti-itch or itch relief sticks. So if he gets bug bites, he has it, right? So let's say this is what I would send with him. None of these are prescriptions. I still need a physician-signed medical form to turn these in at camp, okay? These are supplements, vitamins, and over-the-counter medications. I still need a form signed by a physician in order to leave these at camp, okay? Now, let's say he had prescription meds. I would have those in a separate bag, okay? And again, I need my medication form with these. We have a whole video that goes through exactly how to do meds for camp, so you can watch that for more details. Now, last few things that are nice to haves, not need to haves, right? So, it can be very nice to send a trash bag or like a mesh bag for their dirty clothes. That can just be a great way for them to put dirty, wet stuff in a bag, and so it doesn't get the rest of their stuff all gross. And then when you get home, it's easy to just like pull that out and throw it in the wash. Older kids might do better with this. Younger kids, our counselors are certainly willing to help with these things. It gives us an easier time helping them sort things when we pack them back up at the end of the week if there's a designated place for dirty clothes, okay? A notebook or a journal can be really nice for kids who like to draw or want to write letters home. We have paper and markers and crayons and pens and all of that, so you don't need to send that unless they have, you know, a really special pen or pens that they love to use. But this can be nice for them, as well as a book. So if they have a book that they love, you can send that as well. We do a quiet hour every afternoon, and it's good for them to have things to do. However, we have books stocked in every cabin, age-appropriate books, both chapter books and picture books, and we have stuff to color with. But if they have things that will make them feel more comfortable and at home that they're attached to, you can go ahead and send an item like this. Another thing that's nice to have is a sleep mask and earplugs. That I would recommend for older kids. Obviously, they're sleeping in a shared space. It can be really nice to block out the light, block out the sound, and just get better rest. So if you have a kid who's more of a sensitive sleeper, easily woken by other people's noises, I would recommend sending something like that. Now, last but not least, a tip for organizing. Some families will just throw everything into a bag. Totally fine. This is all about what makes you feel comfortable and what you think your kid will do best with. We want to help foster independence, but our staff are also there to help them. So with younger kids, it can be really helpful to do one of two things. You can get a gallon Ziploc bag, and we can in here put a sock, an undie, a shirt, and a pant, right? So now they've got everything they need for one day of the week. And you can even label it, or you can just leave it and write long sleeve outfit or short sleeve outfit, right? So you could do it this way. Another really good way to do it is by category. So if you have kids who, you know, are gonna have a harder time staying organized, you can put all their t-shirts in one Ziploc bag. And then when they go to look, either them or the counselor can help them pull out a t-shirt, right? This is absolutely not necessary, but for my organized moms, grandmas, families, uncles, whoever that's packing, this can be a nice way to do it. Same thing with their personal items. I would recommend putting all of their personal items in some sort of bag. It does not have to be a fancy toiletry bag. It can be as simple as, again, a Ziploc bag. Let's say we put everything in here. Now it's not gonna leak anywhere, and they can easily carry it to and from the bathhouse, right? So that can be super nice. I would recommend labeling everything, right? And then a couple things not to bring, okay? Do not send them with their phone, even teenagers. If they want to bring their phone, they need to turn it in at the office when they check in. If we find phones, we will take them and have them stored in a locked safe in the office until the end of their session. If this occurs, we would notify you of it. We do not have phones at camp. We do not have smartwatches at camp. If they want a simple little digital watch only for time, that's great. I would not bring iPads, tablets, Kindles, AirPods, any electronics that you do not want to be loosed or damaged, do not send to camp. Plus, it's really good for them to be present in the moment and disconnected from those things for the short time while they're with us up in the mountains. Other things are snacks, soda cans, drinks, anything like that, energy drinks, none of that. We provide all the meals they would need. We're gonna drink tons of water, and they have a chance to buy snacks and drinks at the camp store every single day. So I would send them with some money for the camp store. $25 is a great amount to send. They can buy 2 snacks and a drink per day. And you can upload that in your Camp in Touch account, or you can send cash with them or check in cash at our front office when you come to drop them off, okay? Very expensive clothing, would not bring. Very expensive shoes, would not bring. For some of our stuff, it's more specific. So for rafting, they are gonna need a swimsuit if they're in adventure camp. Otherwise, they don't really need a swimsuit. If they're rafting, they definitely want shoes with a heel strap to wear while they're rafting. They need to make sure they have sunscreen for rafting, absolutely. I already mentioned heeled shoes for the horseback riders. For horseback riders, I would recommend multiple pairs of jeans. We want them wearing jeans when they're riding horses, if at all possible. We provide the helmets for horseback riding and all the helmets for rock climbing and everything like that, so you don't need to worry about those things. Let's see, what else would you want to know? For kids who want to wear leggings, I would do a transparency test. So at home, have them put on the leggings that they want to bring to camp, and they need to practice rock climbing or climbing up a ladder to go to the zip line, things like that. We want to make sure that they're thick and that they are not see-through or transparent in any way. For dress codes at camp, we really want to make sure thicker strapped tank tops, we're covering the belly, anybody's shorts are longer than their hands, just because we're going to be super active. We want things that are comfortable, easy, active, and appropriate to wear while they're running around and having so much fun at camp. So I think that covers it. This is what I would pack for my son if I was sending him to summer camp. And if you have any additional questions about it, you can email me at cjackson@puebloymca.org. You can also check out an abbreviated version of this video over on our Instagram for easy tips and reminders. But for that, I think we're set, and I'll catch you guys at summer camp. Bye.